fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, guys, welcome back to Broke Bets. Lane here, giving you guys our picks or our bets for UFC Noche or Noche UFC. Got my co-host with me, Carson here. What's up, dude?
Yes, sir. Noche UFC in Las Vegas. Let's go.
Yeah, UFC Mexico card once again. Not in Mexico or whatever. It's in Vegas. Doesn't really make that much sense. But anyway, broke our win streak last week. If Izzy would have won, we actually would have gone positive. But it was kind of worth it. Let's be honest. It was worth it to see Sean win. So yeah, let's get right into it. No straight bets this week. Kind of a parlay card if you ask me. But starting off, we got your bet here, Carson.
Yeah, Zellhuber and Padilla. I like both of their length. They have a huge length advantage, both of them, in this fight. And yeah, I think, for Zellhuber, he looked bad against Trey Ogden, but Ogden's pretty tricky, and then he came back and pretty much finished Lando Venata in that first round, and he's looked good since, so I like him to win that one, and Padilla as well as striking was phenomenal, and I don't think Nelson possesses much of a threat to him.
Yeah, I think Padilla can do a good job of pumping that jab pretty early. I also copied this bet that you placed. And then also having Kyle Nelson said something like he wants to move forward and put a crazy pace on Padilla in this fight, but this really hasn't been the case in Kyle Nelson's fights. Like a lot of it can be caught up against the cage. If you rewatch like the Jai Herbert and the Do Ho Choi fight, so kind of weird on that front. But then Zellhuber, I feel the same. Like lengthy, it's gonna be hard for Giagos to take him down, and then Giagos slows down from his grappling typically, and Zellhuber just those knees, some bigger weapons on his side.
And home crowd for both of these guys.
True. Next bet, sticking with the Mexican fighters, I got Chairez and Rosas Jr. parlayed up here. Daniel Lacerda's 0-4 in the UFC for a reason. It's because he has no gas tank. And coming into a fight like this, Edgar is pretty durable, and he's going to have to deal with a lot of punishment possibly coming his way, which in the latter rounds is just unlikely. And Lacerda is just kind of going to be a guy who's going to look for a quick knockout or submission or done. So I think he gets it done pretty easily later on. And then Rosas Jr., pretty self-explanatory. Terrance Mitchell looked horrible against Cameron Simon, came out there, tried to immediately out-grapple, and then pretty much gave up when the fight didn't go his way. And Rosas, didn't look good against Christian Rodriguez, but honestly, in the first round, he had his moments, and for an 18-year-old, looked very strong, had very good control of just Christian Rodriguez in round one, and I just have a hard time seeing Terrance Mitchell escaping that, so yeah, I like these two together. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, Rosas was able to get Rodriguez's back in the first, and if Rosas is able to do that against Mitchell, he's going to finish him. Mitchell has 3 minutes of cardio. I think we all saw that in his debut with Simon. So, yeah, he just gave up. So,
right. Moving down further, starting with the main event, Grasso and Valentina over 4.5 rounds. I played this last time, and I got my ass kicked for it because played the over 4.5 at like plus 100 something. It got shifted down to 3.5 because people are betting the under. So a bunch of you guys, I think, played that bet and then won the over 3.5, and I lost the over 4.5, which is somewhat funny. But in this, let's be real, like that last fight was headed to a decision, and I don't want to call it like a freak incident, but it definitely isn't something that I don't really see happening again. And I think both of them are pretty measured. Like Valentina got caught by some pretty big punches and looked a little bit off balance at times from those punches. So she's going to be careful of Alexa's power, and Alexa's going to be super careful of that takedown in this fight because she lost a lot of minutes in that last matchup. What do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, rematches typically go the distance. We've seen that quite a bit. I mean, yeah, I mean, both these chicks are super tough too. Obviously, the submission in the last fight, but yeah, I mean, I'd call it a little fluky. It's just bad timing with that spinning back kick. I mean, Nunes wasn't able to get Shevchenko out of there, so I don't see Grasso being able to do
Santos, but yeah.
What?
You said Nunes, but it was Santos, but yeah. I know.
No, I'm saying Valentina. I'm saying Nunes couldn't get her out of there.
I thought you were talking about just with the back take of Talia Santos, but similar. Like Talia Santos had like 10 minutes of back control, and it was kind of a quick submission for Grasso. And Grasso is good, but honest opinion on this fight too. If you're gonna take either fighter, just take them by decision. In my eyes, like Alexa Grasso is like plus 350. Kind of unlikely that she comes and finishes the former champion again. At least in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think either person at plus money for a decision is a way better bet. So yeah. Next bet, Roman Kopylov by finish. This dude's finished all of his wins by knockout and lost one by decision to Duraev, in which he in the UFC. Oh shit! Stupid fucking fly ran past my face. But in the UFC, dropped Duraev, hurt him in that fight, gave him a giant swollen eye, and the way that Josh Fremd just plots forward, he's gonna get caught, in my opinion. Just tries to cut down that distance, putting nothing in front of it. And Cedriquez Dumas hit him with some shots early on that stunned him. And I feel like if Kopylov is in there hitting him, it's not going to last long. So what do you think there?
Yeah, I mean, he just wears on people. I mean, he doesn't, I guess, have like one punch KO, but he's going to be pumping you in the body as well, kicks as well. Yeah, I mean, he just wears on people, and eventually he'll find that finish.
Those body shots, that head kick, he got a lot of good attributes. Next bet, Daniel Zellhuber by finish. I just feel like Zellhuber, like we said with Giagos, this guy's been finished multiple times before, and Zellhuber using the knees up the middle will be a great tool. I mean, Zellhuber almost finished Lando Venata, who I believe you said in our breakdown video had never been finished prior. And he had them on the verge of the finish, and Giagos
been KO'd. He's been submitted.
Okay, yeah, but Zellhuber, he's gonna have the better cardio here. He's gonna have more power. Giagos looked good for a knockout against whatever his name is, that looked super rigid and bad in his last fight. But in this one, it's just gonna be tough for him to deal with a guy like Zellhuber, who's so much bigger, and I think is just going to be a lot better here. So, yeah, I like him by a finish. And then rounding off the card, I'm taking the rest of the chick fights to go over 2.5 rounds in a parlay. Statistically, probably inaccurate because, like, I don't know, 30-something% of women's fights probably have a finish in them. But if you look at it, I mean, Tracy Cortez, Jasmine, over 2.5. That is a over 2.5. Lock it down. Like that one is going over. They in both of their last 5 fights and for the most of their careers have been over 2.5 rounds. Knuttson, she's been only had 1 knockout win and 5 decisions. Marnic, Mann, she has some submissions on her record. Unlikely, I think, that she gets one against Knuttson. I think the biggest worry would be Lupita finishing Elise Reed somewhere on the ground, but I still like that one over 2.5. Lupita has 0 knockouts in her career, 2 submissions. The rest are decisions. And Elise Reed, I think in her 3 in 3 of her losses, she's been finished, but I do still feel like she will survive to a decision. So, any more thoughts on this card, Carson?
I mean, is Lupi even gonna be using her wrestling? I don't know.
She seems to fall in love with her striking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the spots I see for this card. It's hard to play an exact money line on this card. And man, if you're Knuttson being minus 800 is fucking crazy to me. I mean, she's going to be a lot better. I agree, but minus 800 is a crazy price. Charlie Campbell by knockout would be a good prop to look after. I think over 2.5 in the Kevin Holland Jack Della fight would be a decent bet, but I don't want to bite my lip and my fingernails the whole fight, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be a sweaty one if you're playing that.
Right.
I do like the Rosas under 1.5. I think he'll be able to get Mitchell out of there in the first. I think Mitchell, most of his fights end in that round 1. So
right.
I saw him; he couldn't last.
And then
more than 3 minutes. So.
And then, of course, if you guys have not been following our NFL bets, seriously need to check them out. Week 1 of the NFL, we went positive 7.57 units. Carson pulled off the sweep, being the main bet man there. I only lost 1 bet, so pretty good week 1 for us. We didn't have our week 2 bets come out on Instagram, and then I'll also make a post on YouTube, not a video, just a post, but yeah, just stay tuned for those. That's some extra cash in your guys' pockets.
Yes, sir.
Any more things to say here, Carson?
I think we covered it. Breakdown Saturday after the fights.
Probably Sunday after the Sunday afternoon.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, something like that.
So we got one more card, and then we get a week off after that. So,
all right, guys. Peace.
Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. The old down to me said I couldn't do it. The old said I couldn't.